Greetings, everyone. Welcome back. It's Vin Ho of internationalvin.com. In today's video, I want to talk about why you should become a generalist and why you should build skill sets and combine them, and that will make you more successful in life, whether it be in business or at your job, etc. So, first of all, does it mean to be a generalist? It means that you should have some expertise in some areas, but not so deep. You don't want to be the expert. You don't want to be the best. You want to have some knowledge, and I'll talk a little bit about that, and then combine them, and in order to be successful. And a couple of people that talk about that is one, Pat Flynn. He's the guy, not the Pat Flynn that you're thinking about, the smart passive income guy, but there's another Pat Flynn that talks about generalism. And he did sports such as exercising and taekwondo, and he talks about generalism, and he combined his interest to start his online business, his personal brand, and he lives a very, very good life by knowing how to do or combine copywriting, online business, and things like that. So that's one big proponent of being a generalist. And the other proponent of generalist and combining your skills is the Dilbert creator. He talked about he was never the best at anything in life. He was decent at being a comedian. He was decent at being a communicator. He was decent at business, entrepreneurship, and just writing or scribbling and doodling, but he was never the best. There's other people better than him, but when he combined those and then made that as an offer in life, he went further and saw more successful. So another person that talks about that is the Dilbert creator. And then I'll talk a little bit about how I've gone through life, and I'm starting to be generalists, and I see a lot of benefit of combining my interests and then using that in a way to start my own personal brand and focus on online businesses and make an offer. For example, I've always been, since college, interested in Asia, specifically China. I spent a couple of years there, and then recently I was in Vietnam, spent 4 or 5 years there. I got my master's in Asian studies, and so I really, really like to learn more about China, Vietnam, Asia, Southeast Asia in general. And then I have a deep interest in supply chain, import, export. And so I'm building expertise there. I've got my CSCP credential, the supply chain professional certification. And then now I work in a customs brokerage, and I'm learning about becoming a customs broker, sitting for the exam, and all of that. So there's 3 or 4 distinct different areas and expertise. And then I combine that with my communication skills and being on camera. I'm starting a YouTube channel. And previous to this channel now, I used to run Focus Asia Pacific when I was based in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, talking about Vietnam, China, Asia topics. And then now I've pivoted, and then I've learned about podcasting. And so I've got that avenue. And then finally, I've taken up within the last year or so writing articles on LinkedIn. So all of that, I talk about my interests. I talk about China, Vietnam in one pillar. I talk about supply chain in another bucket. And then I talk about how to become a customs broker. And I share that those skill sets, that journey, and that knowledge on this channel too. So that is a kind of quick summary of how and why it's important to become a generalist. It's, if you just study one point of view and you want to be really good at one specific thing, maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago, you could see and find success. But in today's world, if you get these broad interests and, you combine them strategically in a way that you can build your personal brand, that you can monetize yourself, productize yourself, make an extra income, etc. That's going to make you go further in life and then in the workplace, etc. So my advice to you is follow your interests, and then get good at different skill sets. Be open to learning. Lifelong learning is very important. And then start projects. For example, I'm learning about do-it-yourself mechanical, working on my own cars, and I never really had that skill set prior to 2 years ago. But I was kind of forced to when I moved from Asia back to the United States. I got a couple beater cars that I had to work on, change the oil, transmission fluid, and all of that, the sparks plugs, and just did a water pump on my minivan. So I had to go through a process of getting the tools, learning online, and doing it myself. Of course, I'm not the greatest at it, but I'm able to learn it, and then now I can talk about it online and show others and teach others my journey and what I've learned. Again, my advice to you is to follow your interests, build up your skill sets, see how you can combine them in order to productize yourself, in order to make yourself more valuable in society and at your job. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.